Oh, we just love starting it out that way every time.
I'm surprised we can remember that.
So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to talk about ADD, which we have had some discussions lately, and she says she's been diagnosed ADD. I've never been diagnosed ADD, but I've always suspected that I am. And as we sat, we met at a local restaurant one day, and we were sitting there discussing starting Incredible Buzz, but we were going back and forth, and we followed it just fine. Mm-hmm. We jumped from one subject to the other, and all of a sudden I said, I wonder what other people think when they hear us talking.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
It was probably pretty funny because we knew exactly what we were talking about, and everything made sense. And
yeah, that's true.
That's when we figured out that we both probably have ADD.
Yeah. I have found that other people who have ADD, when we have conversations, we just go from one thing to the next, and we just don't have any trouble keeping up with it. I had lunch with my niece yesterday who has ADD. I think it probably runs in families. It seems like a lot of people nowadays have been diagnosed with ADD. And I don't know if that's just because they're more up on diagnosing it sooner. I never even thought about it or ever. I never thought I had it. Someone I work with actually had read a book on it and suggested that I read the book. I'm like, oh gosh, what are you trying to say? But I did take the book and read it, and I did see myself as a child in it big time. But I thought, no, I don't have it now. But I was diagnosed as an adult probably about 8 or 9 years ago, and yeah, I've got it big time. But anyway, it's something that it can be hard to live with in a lot of ways. I think with people, they don't realize the procrastination. You tend to be impulsive, and I think I have compensated for it as an adult. But when I was young, obviously I had much more of those tendencies, and it's difficult, I think.
See, and I never realized that I had ADD. I know that when my son was young, when he was like 7 years old, his teachers thought possibly he might have had ADD. But that was about the time that my husband and I were having marital problems, and I thought part of it might have been behavioral. So it just kind of got glossed over. We kind of forgot about it. Then later on when he was in high school, one of his teachers said, he said, I had Andy in class, and he said, I kind of wonder if he doesn't have ADD. So then we had him tested, and I'm pretty sure we put him on medicine, but he didn't keep doing medicine very long. I think when you get them started when they're that age, that's not something they want to do. I think he said it didn't make him feel like himself, and so he just quit. But now you said your niece started on medicine, and she said that it really worked for her, right? Did she see a big difference?
Right. She said that it did. And also, my daughter has ADD. And in high school, she was tested for it in high school, and she went on medication. At the time, I was really against it because I'm the kind of person I don't like taking prescription drugs and whatever. But I agreed, and the principal actually called me towards the end of the week and said, wow, I just have to tell you that about the third teacher of hers had been in my office saying what a huge difference they can see in her. And she herself even said, wow, I was able to focus and stay on task in class. And so I'm sure there's good things about, the medication, obviously, or they wouldn't be,
Did she stay on it in all of high school?
She did for most of high school, but as an adult now, she does take it again, I believe, because it's helpful. But anyway, I've been actually thinking about possibly looking into that, even though I don't like taking prescription drugs. Like I said, there are certain times when you have to, and if it does benefit you and makes a difference. Just because some of the things I want to do, we talked about Incredible Buzz, and we're starting these new projects, but they're all short little pieces of things, which I love. Someone with ADD, I love that. But I've got some novels that are half written from 25 years ago. I have my memoir that I have pieces of here and there over the past several years that I may never get it all together because it's hard for me to work on anything that's long term. So I'm wondering if I should consider that to see if I could actually stay more on task with a long-term project like that. I don't know.
Now, the only thing I want to point out, though, is you and I had agreed earlier when we talked, is that neither one of us likes the thought of taking medicine.
Right.
But there are times when you have to take medicine.
Right.
If you have heart problems, high blood pressure, bipolar, depression, those kind of things. You can't just stop your medicine because you don't believe in taking medicine. You have to take them, but you have to work with your doctor, work with the pharmacist, and take your medicine. But now I've also considered whether I should, because, I want to get into recording and doing some things like that. And I'm wondering if, helping my concentration. It just seems like as I've gotten older, maybe my concentration isn't as good, because I know I've been able to compensate. I graduated from college with almost a 4.0, and stuff like that. So would taking the medicine help me concentrate more on some of the things that I want to focus on, and help you focus on the things you want to focus on? So that's something that, only you can work with the doctor.
Yeah, you'd have to go to a professional and
do it.
Everybody's circumstance is different too. I'm not saying you shouldn't take something or you should take something, by no means. But we're talking about this honestly, openly as a discussion, because it affects so many people we know. In my own family, Chris and I talk about it. And I'm thinking, maybe if I want to complete some of these long-term projects that I've started most of my life and have laying around in drawers, manuscripts and all of these things, maybe it'd be nice to complete one long-term project, But I would, of course, go to a professional and discuss it and discuss options and such.
Now, you graduated from college, though, right? I did. So that was a long-term project that you did complete.
I did, but again, college, it's a long-term project, it's structured. That's another thing. You show up at this time and there's someone there that you kind of go through, a structural setting with. But I will say on that note, when I got a master's degree, but let me say, I almost didn't get it because after all the coursework was done, I needed to take oral comps, and
or the thesis. Did that cause you trouble?
My professor, she knows who she is, the most wonderful woman in the world, and thank you, because without her, I would have never completed the degree. She encouraged me so much. She kept saying, you have to come finish this, you have to. I didn't care at that point, because I think once you're out of the classroom and the structure is gone, for someone like me, it becomes more like, well, I don't care about that. What can I do next? What can I move on to?
Yeah, to move on to the next thing. Now, I think my way of compensating is to break my things into little pieces. These big projects. Like, so say your novel, you're going to get a chapter done this week and you get a chapter done next week. It might help, because I've always broken my stuff. I've always accomplished lots of things, but I've broken them into pieces.
And I have read that, and I'm sure that's a good way to do it. But that's hard for me. It is. I don't know why. It's just, it's hard for me to say, okay, I'm going to write 2 chapters tonight, this week I'm going to do, 5 chapters. That's hard for me. I just have to sit down and do something, and then I'm done with it.
Whatever. So short stories would be better for you.
Yes. I most of the writing I do that's what I do. Short stories and things that are fast and easy. And
we've run out of time quite a while ago. So
big surprise, 2 people with ADD talking each other's ears off. But anyway.
So we've got plenty of things that we want to discuss in the future. We may come back to ADD again. But we want to actually have fun with this and not spend so much time on just one topic. We're going to try to get out of away from our studio, get out and do some adventures and things like that. So right now this is just a start.
Yes.
We're in development, so
technically our second episode is off.
Yeah. So if you're not, if you find one subject not so exciting, that's okay. Come back, because we are going to have more. We're going to try to have some fun. So we just want you to remember that life should be an incredible buzz.